When I grow up, I'm going to be somebody. What are the 5 lies that you were told as a child on today's episode of the 1-Year Life Transformation Challenge? Hello everyone, today we're going to talk about the lies of thought, the lies that were inbred to you as a child. We want to talk about what is growing up, what is becoming, what you want to be. What does that really mean? I mean, we all talk about it, but we never really go to the underlying values of it. So as always, I'm going to start with a quote on the topic, and that quote is, "As long as ego runs your life, there are 2 ways of being unhappy. Not getting what you want and getting what you want." Eckhart Tolle. I love it. It's funny, right? Because we all know that when the thrill of the chase sometimes is so much better than getting. So it's the chase is not getting, which you don't want, apparently, you reject that. And then when you get, you don't really want, so you reject that. So the ego just keeps you in this unhappy state. We're dissolving the ego as we go through this 1-year challenge. And for me, my personal story was that my story, my ego, the thoughts that I should be up to, I'm 25, I'm 30, I'm 35, was never quite right. I was never quite where I wanted to be. And even when I was, even if I set a couple of goals, let's say it was an income goal, even if I was above that goal, I'd go, but my health's not there, my health's not there. And something just seemed missing from the story I told myself, which kept me on the hamster wheel, spinning faster to make up for this, because I thought I was my labels, I thought I was my job, I thought it was my name, I thought it was my identity. I had no concept that I was the connective tissue to the universe that brings into reality as a collective unconscious of groups of organisms around the universe to enjoy and embrace life. I didn't know that. Now I do, so I feel a little bit better, but I didn't know it, and that's what we're talking about today. Nothing ever quite worked out. And I know with the sacred feminine, the women in my life, quite often they go, I need to be having kids by 32, or definitely by the time I'm 33, I need to be married by the time I'm 28. Does wanting to get married by the time you're 28 help you meet your soulmate and create an amazing relationship? It just doesn't. Your soulmate, you'll meet your soulmate. I don't know when, how, where. I don't know where Mr. Right or Mrs. Right is at. But what I can tell you is that when it's right, it will come. And when you're ready, it will come. I don't know how these plans are going to work out for you. And as the rabbis at the synagogues always say, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. You're bigger than your plans. You've got more going on. You're the actor of the universal play. You don't need to worry too much about these. I'm going to be something when I grow up. I'm going to be somebody. Remember that? What do you want to be when you grow up? That's what we ask kids. And the brain's funny. If it doesn't know the answer, what does it do? It makes it up. That's why quantum computing is just taking off now. It's going to be incredible. We're going to be able to simulate universes. I love it. Quantum computing is great. But it won't be as good as our brain. And I know this because the quantum computer won't make stuff up. So when you ask a kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? They go, I don't know, a doctor? And if they get a smile, they go, great, stick to that, I want to be a doctor. It won't work out. So what are these 5 ways to reveal these lies to help us better understand what's going on? Well, number 1, it's time to trust your real history, not your story. Okay, so what's your story? Your story is what you tell yourself about yourself. So you interpret some life events, a divorce, a promotion, a new car, a new house, a trip away, a name that you were called as a kid, feeling overweight. You apply this to a story, right? This is a very temporal story because it can change. One day you feel like a hero, one day you can feel like a zero. So we're starting to get the fact as we go through this video today, stories are junk. So what's your real history? Okay? Your real history, as far as we know, and this is scientific, as far as we know, you started at about the size of a golf ball, and all of the matter of the universe was inside of you. Somehow, perhaps 2 planes of interlocking dimensions rubbed against each other, but more than likely, we will just start from the fact that you, as that small ball, exploded. You went through a period of inflation and expansion, and ultimately, as that matter filled the universe, you recombined your molecules very, very slowly to form planets. And as you were forming your planets, you started creating more elementary molecules. You then lit up some nuclear fusion in the form of suns, and then eventually you worked out a way to photosynthesize light. You were under the ocean. You started photosynthesizing light. Well done. It's a big step. After photosynthesizing light, you became an animal, a feeling animal. You know, you became a cell that started cruising around feeling its environment. You left the ocean. You know, you took on different forms. You became dinosaurs. That didn't work out. The meteors for cold-blooded animals, it wasn't right. So you're focused on being a mammal. Eventually, you're a wandering ape, and here you are today. So you've done so well. You've done amazing. That's your true story. The atoms in your body will be traced back to that story. The story you tell yourself, I can't find it. Can't find it. Can't find what you're telling me. Can't find the labels in your head anywhere. All I can tell you is that if I looked at your atoms, that would be the story of your atoms. Number 2, this ego that keeps telling you need more, ask it once in a while, where would you be without a problem? Think about that. That voice in your head, that ego, it deals in problems. It's always like, oh, we've got to do this, and how about this, and is this okay, but I don't know about that, what if they said this, and if he said, and you end up having these nutcase conversations. It's creating problems about your life for you to solve, which is no good, because who wants problems, unnecessary problems? There's enough in life. Number 3, you're not going to grow up to be someone because your life is lived in the present moment. The quanta of moments, so quantum mechanics says that, you know, there's a quanta of moment which in all of the possibilities have been collapsed into a small, I think it's 0.043 of a second. It's present moment, just there. It can only be lived. You can only live through that. You can't live in the story. So live, you want to live here, not in the story you tell yourself. Number 4, you would have heard my story that originally I heard from Oso, the millipede. This thinking, this is I'm going to be someone, this constant thought pattern is what's stopping you being that somebody. And the example is that I told in the previous video that, you know, one day a frog was watching this millipede walk and watched all the thousands of legs all moving independently, but, you know, propelling locomotively this millipede forward. And the frog's like, man, I can barely get around on 2 legs, and yells out to the millipede, how do you do it? The millipede's like, do what? And he goes, how do you get along with 1,000 legs? And the millipede goes, I've never thought about it. And immediately fell over, because now it's trying to think about how to move all those legs independently. Number 5, your death is a non-event. I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, but in Zen, as you live through eternity in every present moment, the death is just a 1 millisecond of your entire progression, and it's not the end anyway. So worrying about, oh, I need to do this before I die, or worry about, you know, I need to get this done before a certain age. Listen, you're eternal. You've got plenty of time. Chill out, relax. It's going to come, and it might not come in this lifetime, but it will come at some level. And remember, I don't know what you want. Let's say you're stressing out, yelling at your employees, kicking the cat, and having to go at your wife because you're just trying to save for the boat. They don't write on your gravestone, he had a boat. And then they leave your hand outside the grave so people can high-five you for having a boat. That's not a thing that happens. What happens is they put your date of birth, a dash, the day you died. You get a dash. And your dash is as good as JFK's dash, or Einstein's dash, or my dash. It's the great leveler. That dash is the collective human experience. That's all you get in your gravestone. They don't list your assets, okay? So let's make sure we're embracing it and living that dash to the best. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Until then, you're already somebody. You won't grow up to be somebody. You are now. I'll see that somebody tomorrow. Bye.